It's that sequence.
Was earlier in the week you mentioned about the population of the earth will fit in Jacksonville, Florida, carefully, but that kind of skirts the issues of what a lot of people screaming about overpopulation address, and that is farmland to produce the food for us all, drinking water, sanitation, how do you get rid of, and then of course technology and development destroying the rainforest and all the oxygen purifiers. Can you speak to how legitimate those concerns are?
Sure. Yeah, those are very real concerns. Let me come back a second and start at the beginning, okay? God gave to Adam 3 instructions, okay? Don't eat the tree of knowledge of good and evil. Everybody knows that one, okay? The second instruction was produce godly seed, okay? Go out and have children and train those children in my ways, okay? Produce godly seed. And the third instruction to Adam and Eve was what? Dominion mandate. Take care of the earth, okay? What does mankind do? In every case, mankind goes directly against what God's commanded. Don't have children, exploit the environment or worship it, never manage it correctly. This is where the church has lost its way. The church needs to understand that God has told us to take care of this creation. If we did that, we would have every resource we use renewable. We wouldn't be using things up, okay? Now, God gave us the coal and oil, obviously, to transition us, all right? But we should be moving to other kinds of fuel. But how we manage the universe, or how we manage this planet, is dependent upon our accepting the dominion mandate and balancing those two things of exploitation and worship, all right? The second part of this is this, that because mankind tends to go away from what God says, God permits the conditions to get worse. Okay? As we move away from a biblical foundation, you will find the cultures will get more and more sin-depraved. Okay? You just take ancient history and start at Jerusalem, what's called the Fertile Crescent, okay? You find civilized people. Disperse them at Babel, what happens? Everybody leaves with the same general information, okay? The technology of the day was whatever Babel had, and they all had it together. And they all migrated because of the language dispersion that God had put on them. And as they migrated away, what happened? The more they moved away from God, the more God forsook them, the more they deteriorated. The Aboriginal peoples went to Australia. You can do the archaeology, and you find a relatively high civilization at the bottom. And when the white Europeans get there, they find them running around naked in the jungle. What happened? God gave them over. Romans chapters 1, 2, and 3. The Mayans in South America, I believe God judged them. When they got their depraved human sacrifice practices, God finally judged them. And they disappeared without a trace. They just gone. But you see, that's what happened in civilization. So we look at a country like India, and we see the drift away from God to the Hindu religion, and we see tremendous kind of problems related to all the things you cited. Why? It's because of the religious foundation of the culture. Because they worship the animals, they don't feed the people die. Because they worship the animals, they have huge sanitation problems. Why do they have all this disease? Well, animal waste is all over the place. It's not taken care of. The Ganges River is the most polluted river in the world. Why? Sacred cows is one of the main reasons. And then the lack of sanitation procedures, because the value of human life is down here, not up here.